guys, I'm having trouble making your video for page 765 and that lesson on lesson 3, hands-on understanding area. So I'm going to make a video for each page and maybe that'll work better. So up at the top are some yellow words that you're going to use later in probably the lesson in the chapter. And when we're understanding area, it says a square with a side length of 1 unit is called a unit square. A unit square has 1 square unit of area and can be used to measure area. Area is the number of square units needed to cover a figure without overlapping. So what we're talking about, I want you to star that and underline that, because those yellow words, remember, is what you're going to come back to when you need to tell what something means. Don't forget that. Now, on the draw up part, it wants you to draw and shade 2 different rectangles that each have an area of 20 square units. So on number 1, it says to shade a rectangle with 20 square units, you need to shade a rectangle made up of 20 unit squares. So I asked myself, what times what equals 20? And I came up with 5 times 4 is 20. And I went ahead and made that right here. You can't really tell very well, but 20 is kind of like an array, 5 rows of 4. So I went 5 little squares over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 little squares down. And you can draw it around that 5 times 4 and then kind of shade it in lightly. And then you're going to have to see that 5 times 4, there's 20 squares shaded in. So my answer is 20. And on the first rectangle that I did 20 squares. Now it's wanting to know the perimeter of the rectangle. And remember, that's the distance around the outside edges. So it's 5 little boxes over this way, 4 down this way, 5 at the bottom, and 4 on the side. And perimeter, remember, you add to find, and that's 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 5 is 14, plus 4 is 18. So our perimeter for that first box that I made is 18, and I should have put units. Now it wants us to make a different one that's going to be 20 unit squares. So my next problem I came up with is that 2 times 10 is 20. So I went back up here and I went down 2 and over 10 and made my rectangle, shaded it in. And then when I go to find my perimeter at the bottom, I know that the side is 2, this side is 2, up here at the top is 10, down here at the bottom is 10, and when I add that all up, it is 24 units. So if I was going to make a pen to keep my cows in, I would need more fence for this pen, because I would need 24 units than I would use for this, because this one is 18. So it'd be cheaper and less fence to build if I built a pen that looked like this rather than a skinny long one. All right, that's it for this side.